Welcome back to Rome Boys. On this episode is Rome Boys Off the Cuff. We're just going to have a random conversation.
We have no idea what we're going to say.
Bienvenidos.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I have no idea what to say.
Yes, you do. So
About what? It's a show about nothing.
Yeah, I think we really got something in.
What do we got?
An idea.
What idea?
An idea for the show.
I still don't know what the idea is.
It's about nothing.
Right.
I'd say it's a show about something. We're talking about the faith.
It can't get any better. It can't get any more substance than that, right?
Yeah. I'll say we just recently gave a talk to a parish and had some interesting questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
We like to open it up for
The one
Q&A.
that I remember is there was a lady there that said that she was a teacher, and one of her students came into the room with a shirt that's advertising the devil, basically, and how to deal with that. And that was a tough one.
Yeah, she kind of laid it out for us that the school there had already said no T-shirts of any kind showing advertising,
Logos,
brands, anything like that. And then they just kind of bowed down to this one shirt that she thought was really demonic.
Right.
And
Yeah.
was. And had a principle that was,
Christian, the
Claiming.
principle was.
claiming
This is true.
and yet said we cannot bring Christianity into.
So no to everything else,
decision-making.
but yes to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how it's the devil, right?
And then
It just flips
we
it right on its
talked
head.
about, like in the book of Maccabees, do you fight, or do you take one for the team and be martyred, basically, Like,
Yeah.
does
Well,
she stay in there and just keep battling, or
Yeah.
does she say, no, I'm done with this, I'm moving on? And that's kind of
She said that there was, really kind of no options for it, but there was more than one school.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
There's more than one school in this
Area.
in this country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I would say is a good point in bringing up this topic, that there's a ton of teachers out there. And one of the things that we talk about is bringing hope to our viewers. And because there's so much negativity out there, even like what's going on in the church and why isn't our parish doing this and why isn't our bishop doing this, and we're always looking out the window instead of in the mirror and what can we do. But like you mentioned, do you just get up and walk out? Like,
Yeah.
are you being squeezed out of the system?
because you gave that story there. You left a nursing home
I did.
because
I was told I couldn't pray, and it just wasn't even supposed to be my day to pray, but everybody else at the morning meeting wanted to,
Yeah.
and somebody out of state with a whole different lifestyle just happened to be my day to start the morning prayer.
And we gave her hope by saying, when you take that leap, when you go, God
Yeah.
will always be there to provide for you. It's scary. We don't know what's going to happen
I
next.
mean, God help her, because
Yeah.
she obviously loves her students.
Yes.
And she doesn't want to leave those students. I mean, I can't imagine the positive influence she is on
Amen.
them. But at the same time, can she just still... Maybe this is God calling her. You know what? You're doing good here, but I have another plan for you. I need
Yeah.
you to go over here.
Yeah.
It's hard to even answer the question because everybody's got different situations. Like, you have a mortgage, you've got a car payment, you've got food you got to put on the table, you got kids you have to feed.
Sure.
But I definitely, my heart goes out to Christian teachers in public schools.
Oh, my goodness.
Because, what are they having to deal with these
Yeah.
kids coming in from these broken families? Obviously, over half of all marriages end in divorce, right? And all these kids are dealing with it. They're seeing all this stuff in social media because that's what has their attention. So,
Oh, my goodness. Public schools are a war zone.
oh yeah, it's the front line.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
my
But
goodness.
it was
Quite
encouraging
literally.
to me that she was willing to battle. She was willing to
Yes.
bring it up, tell her principle, and she didn't just roll over like lots of times we do as Christians, and just say, whatever, we'll let this one go, because we've done that for decades, centuries, and we can't do that anymore. So she at least made her voice known, and that was that's
And
hey,
she's
that's
not
a
getting
good-
any backing from the parents, because what'd she say? That they were actually told, encourage their daughter to flaunt it, to flaunt the T-shirts in front of her,
Right.
to kind of egg it on. I mean, so
But that's
the
not who-
parents are not there.
Yeah, right. And that's not who we are as Christians.
No.
And G.K. Chesterton talked about just having a simple family. It's the most profound thing, right? And living a simple life. Father Dwight Longenecker talked about this balance of, look, we don't have to combat it by holding up signs and picketing and yelling and screaming at the other side of the conversation. We just need to be staunch in who we are. We need to live our faith. And it's amazing. You know, one of the things I say about myself is I like to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, or a sheep in wolf's clothing.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
You know, but if we're here, we're not going anywhere as Catholics. We're in the world, but not of it. And so it's interesting that if all of these people aren't living with a moral compass, like what we're talking about, you know, they're shoving these isms down our down our throat, and putting it in our face, and forcing us to, you know, every other commercial on television is homosexual couples, and okay. But why do you have to push it on everybody?
Because you're trying to normalize something that's not normal.
Disney, Pixar,
all folding to. But that's what I don't understand. It's like how they make up 1% of the population.
or
less than.
less.
Than 1% of the population. How farmers make up less than 1% of the population? We can't get nothing done. How is it that they are getting all these things politically done? This
You get it done. You feed all of us.
Oh my goodness. Well, I didn't say we weren't getting our jobs done. We're getting our jobs done when there's not a drought. But I mean, the support politically in the political realm, they can get things shoved down into law faster than we could ever dream in agriculture.
But what I find is the connections between people are ingenuine, and whenever so many people I think in this world are skeptical about other people, and then when they see, wow, this person did what they said they were going to do, they're honest, there's hope in society and in humanity. And I think that's what, if we can just keep our faith in humanity, and not feel the devil would love to infiltrate our hearts and minds and kill our spirit, right? Kill who we are as joyful Christian people. It ain't gonna happen.
No. Yeah, if we had that, our eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
Right.
I was talking to this was years ago, I was talking to my brother, and I think he was in the seminary at this time. You know, the world was in chaos back then. Now it's even worse than it was before. And I was kind of talking to him about it. Where do you see this going? And he just thinks that, or I forget how exactly he put it. He articulated it a lot better than I'm going to repeat it. But it was more or less when things just fall into complete rock bottom, this is just the worst it can ever get. People are going to start looking for stability. Yeah. They're going to look for the rock. Okay, and so they're going to look for people.
The church.
Jesus. They're going to look for Jesus, right? Because something that's not, because they're so used to change and the craziness of this world, they're going to look for something that hasn't changed. And so, like when our interview with Mr. Father Longenecker.
Yep.
He's saying about just keeping it simple. You know, we just got to live our faith in a way that's simple. You know, that
it's profound.
Yeah, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to do anything different. Just live it.
Yeah.
And I actually had a woman approach me after the talk we did at the last event we did, and she asked me. Her and her husband were divorced, and he lives across the country, and so the son gets to go over there for a few times. Visitation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And totally different. You know, she tries to raise him whenever she has him there, going to church regularly, showing how important it is to her to go regularly, just being stability for him. And then whenever he goes to dad's, he gets to do whatever he wants, watch whatever he wants, eat whatever he wants. And her question to me was just, how do I instill the faith into my son? I said, just by doing what you're doing.
What you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I told her. Just doing what you're doing, making sure he knows that the faith is important to her, and laying that foundation. He's going to end up growing up, making his own mistakes.
Decision.
But if she has that foundation laid, he'll have something to fall back on.
Gee, do you think it could work?
It's got to work. It's our only hope.
You know, it's interesting, don't we all? Like, whether
Absolutely.
Right? It's because there's times in our lives where we're strong in our faith, and then there's times when we feel weak in our faith. Yep. You presented a good question right before we got started, Joe, with people that don't actually attend Mass because they don't think they're worthy of it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We have ups
We would never
and
go.
downs.
Nobody'd ever go.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
none of us are worthy, right?
No, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Lord,
Yeah.
I'm not worthy that you should enter under my roof. We say it every single time.
Yeah, we do. Because it's not about what we do, but it's the grace that God gives us.
Yeah.
And
It's not about us at all.
yeah,
No, it's about him. It's about what he wants to do with us. And I mean, like I said, we're not perfect.
yeah.
I mean, I hope nobody watches this show thinks that these guys have got it figured out.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not
I
at all.
screw up.
If
all the
anything
time.
good comes from us, is by God's grace.
Yeah.
Absolutely, every single time. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been viewers that have said, I don't know how you do it. You guys are just so good, and your lives are perfect. And we're like, well, hit the brakes.
Good night.
hold on.
Yeah,
No.
talk to our wives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, don't, because then you'll find out how bad
or
we
a
are.
confessor, but he can't say anything.
Yeah, or talk
Thank
to our
the
kids.
Lord, our
Yeah,
confessors
ain't
can't
it
say
that
it.
the truth? Yes.
Oh,
yes.
no.
And I think we also beat ourselves up quite a bit. Yes,
I know I do. Yeah.
obviously we make mistakes, but I think that's another trick of the devil. If we know whose we are and how much we're loved, Tony, you did a great job at the talk. One of the things you stopped everything. I mean, the momentum of your talk just
Planning on
shifted.
doing it again and again.
Yeah.
Because I need to hear it.
yeah.
And I figured other people do too.
And the question that he asked was, God loves you. You.
Did you know
And,
that?
yeah. And how many times do you really think that? And you challenged him.
Yeah. Look
Right?
in the mirror. Yeah.
Go look in the mirror and tell yourself that God loves you.
Yeah.
It might seem like a soft, I don't know,
Yeah. Or
effeminate
cheesy.
thing to do, right? Or cheesy, even. Yeah.
Non-masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody else is going to see it. Why wouldn't you do it? There's-
And that worthiness will go away, or the feeling of being unworthy if we know we are loved.
If we were basing it off of being worthy, we wouldn't be doing this.
No.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Absolutely.
I'm not worthy of this at
I
all.
remember
We
even
actually-
in the beginning, you were like, guys, you messed up one time, and you're like, I don't think I could do this anymore.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
were
I
about to hang
remember
up that.
A
yeah.
trick of the devil.
Yeah.
I think actually one of the reasons that we started the show too was to say, hey, because we're such screw ups. I don't know what else to
Yeah.
say. Like,
Yes.
I think people can actually probably relate to us.
that.
And then I think that you guys may think, some of you, I don't know. Anyways, maybe you don't think we're so great. I don't know.
Great.
But right, yeah, that's
Fine.
right on
Yeah,
track.
That's great. Yeah.
But one of the things that we're encouraged by some of the people that we get to do interviews with is they were saying, you guys are inspiring because you're just normal people and you're actually getting out there and doing something. And
Which anybody can do, which we've said it again and
Yes.
again.
We are not special. I don't know if you've
Over.
caught that yet. We're trying to get that across to
Just
everyone
because we
here.
have a Rome Boys shirt doesn't
We
mean
have T-shirts. We have
You too
YouTube
can have
channel,
T-shirts.
whatever. But no, we're regular
Yeah.
people.
there's I say quite often because when I first heard it, it just stuck with me. There's only two motivators in the world: inspiration and desperation.
but not perspiration. I
Yeah,
always
no,
wanna say
it
that.
doesn't motivate anybody. Inspiration
Maybe
and
to move.
desperation.
Yeah.
We always do things for those two reasons. The reason you get out of bed, I got to go to work. I got to feed my family. This is desperation mode.
Yeah.
And if you're living life in that desperation mode, I got to go to mass to check the box. You got to look at life in a different perspective. Your life will change if you do. Chris Stefanik's book, Living Joy, talks about it. You got to live life to inspire. And when you do that, you're not doing it you're not living for yourself, because people aren't going to become Catholic because you're checking a box, you're going to mass. I mean, that's great for the world to see you sticking to your faith. But it's not as inspiring as somebody who sees joy and wonders where it comes from.
Okay, switch topics. Roe versus Wade.
All right, boom.
Everything is now 50 years
Never thought I'd see it in
of
our
abortion
lifetime.
across our country. 60, 70 million, I'm sure there's more, babies that have been lost. Wow.
Hey,
But
the
now-
calculator has it slowed down?
Numberofabortions.com. I would imagine. I haven't checked it. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
That
can
would
check
be
out that
interesting
website.
to see. You know what really the funny memes I've seen on Facebook was the one about Planned Parenthood saying, "Oh no, we're going to close it. We're going to have to close all of our businesses." I thought you only did 3 abortions for only 3% of your business.
Yeah, and I like to say, more like 97%, and 3% is the other stuff.
I mean, if you lose 3% of your business and you're going to have to close your doors,
yeah.
Embarrassing.
Your math is wrong.
Yeah, statewide or whatever it is. Yeah.
Your math is wrong, or
The truth comes out.
But I
right?
don't think
the truth
we,
comes out.
as a church, I definitely haven't seen it on social media, even locally, have celebrated this. Like it's almost as like the media have all attack mode, all
Yeah.
negativity, and we haven't had parades,
I
for
know.
all the babies
Yeah.
that are being saved. And there's still a fight, and we got to make sure those pregnancy help centers are getting total support. And I know many of them are gotten vandalized. And there's been all that negative stuff, but I just want to take the moment and say, wow.
Yeah.
Millions of babies will be saved by this decision. We've corrected the wrong of about 50 years.
Well, I think maybe the prevention of celebrating is because of the fear of being a target.
Yeah.
This is true.
So
Fair enough.
The lie has been spread though that there's people aren't going to get the well women's care and the
Yes.
the reproductive clinical
Healthcare.
support and healthcare. You're not reproducing anything when you're promoting abortion.
Right. Like they're not going to get care if they have a miscarriage.
So
that doesn't make any sense. Anybody who's ever been through a miscarriage knows that. But that's not a human being. My wife. yeah. Boys can't have
I never knew.
babies. Sorry.
Let's clarify this day and age.
Yeah. Men can't have babies. Sorry.
I'm having a baby, everybody!
Michael, you're having indigestion.
Anyway, but they know that's it's not a human being anymore. It's a human being, but it's not alive.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not the same thing as killing a baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Abortion and miscarriage treatment, what do they call it? DNC, I believe is the acronym for it. It's not the same thing because we're not dealing with.
Did you just say DNC? Doesn't that
DNC.
stand for?
The Democrat National.
You said it.
Coincidence? I think not!
I believe that's correct.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right?
We're just talking acronyms.
Anyway, okay. I think that's correct. I have to look that up.
Sorry about
Interesting.
Whew, that got heavy.
Yeah. So, but there's pregnancy help centers.
Yes.
All
All
over
over
the
the place.
country. Yeah. Grace Pregnancy Outreach in Livingston, the Pregnancy Help Center San Angelo. These are local, just Texas-based. They're all over the place. There's help, and most of the time it's cheap or free.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
They'll do whatever it takes to save that baby.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Or
Sonogram
provide-
machines, providing diapers,
Yeah.
and helping giving classes to
Ultrasounds,
parents,
lab
ultrasounds. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Delivery afterwards.
Clothes,
help
cribs,
with finding job,
car
housing.
seats.
So so now there's this fight against we're going to make executive orders to codify Roe and all of this stuff, and
The fight's not over.
It's already over.
It doesn't over till it's over.
What's that from, the 80s?
It's probably in the 70s.
the authorities
and then
not
the
there.
pill, right? I mean, the RU 486. I mean, that's the way that the
They're-
movement has been going for years because they saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
And now we have to fight for that, which several states have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no abortions whatsoever, and these are abortions too, illegal.
Yeah.
And you
So-
will be prosecuted.
So that's federalism, which is great. Federalism is giving the power back to the states.
Right. So, I mean, like we said before, I mean, abortion is not eliminated.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just now in the power of the states.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's for us to decide. So we get to vote on these things. What's so wrong with that?
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't this America?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I mean,
So-
and you're going to have those states that are just going. I mean, Colorado even before
California, New York.
California, even before the whole thing came out, we're going to make sure it's legal up to birth.
Yeah.
So we
That
get
is
fired
partial
up about
birth
this
abortion,
topic. Okay, let me say this.
I mean, what stops you there? If you're gonna kill a baby up to its birth, why not a year later? You know what? I
Yeah.
just really can't handle this baby. He's a year old. I'm just gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna kill it.
So
I mean, where do you stop?
Yeah.
So
Amen.
let
Amen.
me say this. I am very much in support of doing what God did. Now he said obviously there's consequences to your decisions, but he also loves us enough to give us that free will
Sure.
to make these
Natural
decisions, right?
consequences here. We're going.
Yeah, yeah. So when you look at like libertarianism and these different ideology groups, I'm all for people making the choice themselves so that their heart is changed. We get fired up about these topics, and we can talk about the science, and we can talk about like the idiocracy of killing a child. Yes, those women can be going through very difficult things, and even the men that influence it at times. But I think where we've missed the boat so much is loving the person and both of the people, right? The baby and the mother.
And coupling that, changing the heart and mind and the soul of the individual. I mean, outline abortion is great, but have minds and hearts changed? I mean, many people are still for it and still feel that women should have that choice. You know, we have to do our homework and teach.
So here's what's crazy. I actually believe that they should have the choice too, except for I always want them to choose life.
Amen.
Right? I mean, that's the heart, right? That's the understanding the love of God and what you've
Just
created.
like you chose your spouse and you've got a one knee to say, I want to marry you.
Right. Well, the choice should be made in the bedroom rather than on the operating table.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I mean, let's get to the dirt of this. What are they trying to do here with the pill, with abortion? What are we trying to do? We're trying to eliminate consequences.
Yes.
We want to be able to have sex with whoever we want, whenever we want, and not have any consequences.
Yep.
And even diseases and all this other stuff. So
there's pills for
all these things to prevent what chastity would have done in the first place. What was it whenever they said, which women, it was some celebrity that, well, who cares? I don't care what celebrities think. But one of them said, well, they demanded whenever Roe v. Wade, or maybe it was before that, they said, okay, we're just going to go on a sex strike. We're not going to have sex with our husbands before against this ruling. It was like,
Pause for effect.
Yeah.
good job.
It's called chastity.
Yeah.
We're actually behind you on that one. Good job. You know?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my goodness.
What a topic, Tony. But
really.
But I mean, it's really about eliminating consequences. We want to be able to do whatever we want. When we call that freedom. It's not freedom. I mean, freedom is not being able to do whatever you want.
Catholic be for abortion?
No. Mm-mm. No. No.
Absolutely not.
No.
You know, but like we have allowed that for how many years to say you can have your cake and eat it too. You could be a cafeteria Catholic. You can do both. No, absolutely not. You are not in the state of, can you be in the state of grace and be saved by saying, I am for abortion, and then go to mass?
No!
Yeah, so there's some people say, well, I've never had an abortion, or I've never, influenced or promoted somebody to get an abortion. Let me ask you something similar. Homosexuality.
Stay tuned for part 2 of Rome Boys Off the Cuff.